Hello and welcome to the 1000 Point Gamers introduction of the Demon Hunter class, now available to those of you who have pre-ordered the Legion expansion of World of Warcraft. This series of videos will tell you all you need to know to be the edgiest motherfucker Azeroth has ever seen.
I eat demons for breakfast and vengeance for lunch.
Step aside, Reaper. You had your spot in the darkness. It's time to learn about the lore and the starting game experience. Because let me tell you right now,
You are not prepared!
Demon Hunters start at level 98 and have a starting zone that you can complete in about an hour and a half. From the very beginning, you can see that Demon Hunters have an absolutely insane amount of customization when you create your character. In addition to all of your normal options, you can have tattoos, horns, and blindfolds to choose from. Once you finish creating your brooding teenager, you step into the game. You begin at a point in the past, on Mardoom, a world conquered by the Legion, at the same time as the siege of the Black Temple was happening during the Burning Crusade. You, as well as the other demon hunters, have been sent here to acquire the Legion Keystone, an artifact belonging to Sargeras for Lord Illidan. The Demon Hunter starting zone feels somewhat similar to that of the Death Knights, in that you gain abilities and talents as you progress through the story. Your first three abilities granted to you are Fell Rush, Demon's Bite, and Chaos Strike, in addition to your racial traits and passives. The passives given to Demon Hunter on creation include Double Jump, Mastery Demonic Presence, and Shattered Souls.
Fell Rush is a standard movement ability. On activation, you dash forward a short distance, dealing chaos damage to anything in your path. Fell Rush has 2 charges and a 10-second cooldown. Demon's Bite is your bread and butter fury generation ability. It's a very simple move that you'll be using all the time. Chaos Strike is your bread and butter fury spending ability. It costs 40 fury, deals chaos damage, and if it critically strikes, it refunds 20 of the fury cost. Demon Hunters can double jump, and additionally, by tapping the spacebar a 3rd time, they can glide through the air. This means as long as you're ready for it, Demon Hunters take no fall damage. Demonic Presence is your mastery ability, increasing your chaos damage dealt as well as your movement speed. Shattered Souls is a very interesting mechanic and one of the functions surrounding the Demon Hunter class. Anytime you kill an enemy, you have a chance to create a soul fragment. These fragments appear as purple wisp-looking things that you can walk over and collect. Upon collecting one, you'll be healed for 25% of your maximum HP. If the soul came from a demon, you'll also deal 20% more damage for 15 seconds.
The process of acquiring this Legion Keystone is definitely a campaign unto itself. The first steps are simple. In addition to beating back the Legion and establishing a solid foothold on Mardoom, you must open a number of portals to bring in reinforcements. Opening these portals is no easy feat either. A powerful soul must be sacrificed at each portal in order to activate it. At one point, it is determined that even the normal souls used are not enough, and a demon hunter themselves must be sacrificed to open the final portal. You can either choose to sacrifice the NPC quest giver, or give your own life for the Illidari. Selecting the second option triggers, you guessed it, a death run back to your corpse, accompanied by a pretty cool voiceover from Illidan himself explaining why you can't actually die permanently. It's pretty interesting, and I definitely recommend trying it out.
The first ability that you'll acquire via questing is I-Beam, a channeled ability that consumes 50 fury and has a 45-second cooldown. It deals an obscene amount of damage to anything in front of you, and it's chaos damage to boot, which means it benefits from your mastery. Try to make sure that you're maximizing usage of this and always have the fury ready to use once this ability comes off cooldown so you can blast everything in your path. The animation's pretty fucking sick too. The second ability you get from questing is called Consume Magic. It's a fairly standard interrupt ability. It has a 15-second cooldown, a 20-yard range. If you successfully interrupt a spellcast with this, you instantly generate 50 fury, which is fucking amazing. Third, we have Throw Glaive, a 30-yard range attack with a 10-second cooldown. This is pretty useful for some area of effect damage. If you can manage it, try to keep it on cooldown. But since it doesn't generate fury and it's not off the global cooldown, don't worry too much about it, especially if you're in melee range.
Shortly after you pick up Throw Glaive, you'll get access to your first talent choice by hitting level 99. Your initial choices are between Fell Mastery, Chaos Cleave, and Blind Fury. Fell Mastery will increase the damage you deal with your Fell Rush and cause it to grant you 25 Fury if it deals damage to at least one target. Chaos Cleave will make your Chaos Strike hit an additional target for 50% of the initial damage. Blind Fury will increase the duration of your Eye Beam by 50%. While you're leveling up initially, Fell Mastery or Chaos Cleave are probably the most useful talents, though Blind Fury sure is a lot of fun. Check back in a few days to see our full talent overview, where we'll go much more in depth on which talents are the best to take for every situation. As you progress through Mardoom, keep an eye out for the rare enemies that spawn in set locations. They each have a piece of gear that you can't get anywhere else, so it's worth camping them to grab the special loot. They'll be marked on your minimap by a star icon, so keep an eye out for them.
Eventually, you'll be given the option to select a specialization between Havoc and Vengeance. Thus far, the game has forced us into the Havoc specialization, and I think you'll agree that we've been having a lot of fun with it. Vengeance is the tanking specialization for Demon Hunter, and while we definitely look forward to trying it out, we don't recommend playing it while you're leveling through the starting zone. Once you make this selection, however, you'll be locked into it until level 102, at least in the beta client. Be sure that you think about it before you pick. Vengeance will level much more slowly, so only pick it if you plan to tank for the next 3 weeks, assuming that it doesn't change on the live release. The last ability that we pick up before we leave Mardoom is Metamorphosis, our bread and butter cooldown ability. It turns us into a big motherfucking demon that wrecks everything in sight for exactly 30 seconds every 5 minutes. This demon form will allow us to jump up to 40 yards away, stunning every enemy within 8 yards for 3 seconds, and empowering our abilities. The only empowerment that we have at the moment is Chaos Strike, which turns into Annihilation, dealing approximately 30% extra damage. Later on in the leveling process, it will also empower Blade Dance, but since we don't have that ability yet, don't worry about it, we will get it by level 100 though.
After you travel far enough and acquire the Keystone, you'll be transported back to the Black Temple. Now, we filmed all of this on the beta client, and there's currently a cinematic missing from the game, so we can't tell you exactly what happens. But the gist of it is, you get back right as the siege of the temple ends and Illidan is defeated. Your Demon Hunter friends, as well as yourself, are imprisoned by Maev's Shadowsong and the Wardens, and you wake up in a prison on the Broken Isles sometime in the present day. The prison is under siege by the Legion, and Maiev has been forced to turn to you, her enemies, the Demon Hunters, to help stop them from destroying the entire prison. It's worth noting that without that cinematic, we have no idea what's happened to that Keystone that we just spent an hour tracking down. We definitely don't have it in our bags, and as far as we can tell, the Wardens don't have it, so who knows? Thanks, Blizzard. A++ work. In the prison, we're set to work stopping Gul'dan from taking Illidan's body. We see a cinematic in which he escapes through a trio of portals and Maiev chases after him, leaving us to finish clearing out the prison. Upon killing a pair of huge motherfuckers, you'll learn either Vengeful Retreat or Demon Spikes, depending on your specialization.
At some point in the prison, you can expect to hit level 100, accessing another new tier of talents. For Havoc, you'll have Prepared, Demon Blades, and Demonic Appetite. We absolutely recommend Demonic Appetite for leveling purposes. Demonic Blade seems fun, but takes away from our buttons to push, and we're already working with a very limited toolkit, so it's not great right now. Finally, Prepared will buff your Vengeful Retreat, which could be alright, but far from amazing during your leveling process. If you choose Vengeance for your specialization, your choices will be between Feast of Souls, Fallout, and Burning Alive. We would recommend Fallout if you want to main tank, Burning Alive if you intend to off tank. I wouldn't really recommend Feast of Souls because you're only getting like 3% of your maximum HP, so don't fall in love with it. Once again, please tune in for our more in-depth discussion of talents. It should be out in a few days.
Eventually, you'll be told that you have to select between Kain Sunfury and some fucking Night Elf piece of shit. as there can only be one true edgelord, and neither of them can come to terms with the fact that you already took the title. Either way you choose, the other one will leave with his panties in a wad, and the game progresses without any sort of power impact on your character, just some lore and story choices which definitely won't matter later on, I'm sure. Almost immediately after this choice, you'll fight the Legion commander within the prison, and once you've killed him, the rest of the Legion's assault falls apart. You'll meet Archmage Khadgar outside of the prison, and he will teleport you to your capital city, and then the game truly begins. You'll be teleported to the capital just after the events of the Battle of Broken Shore, a scenario available to other level 100 characters. Spoiler alert, but your current faction leader dies. The Horde gets Sylvanas Windrunner as their replacement, while the Alliance gets little bitty Anduin Wrynn. Either way, a fresh demon hunter will have to report to their new leader and immediately prove your worth, fighting off an invasion of demons who've forgotten to RSVP to the coronation ceremony but shown up anyways. Fucking rude, guys.
Once you finish this, you're ready to sit in a dark corner of a tavern using the /me to emote about how big of an edgelord you are and how your mother never loved you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please tune in a few days to see the next part. And until then, stay edgy, my friends. Stay edgy.